Watch out for waterfalls. I didn't have that screen pulled up yet. I can't watch it.
Come on.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I have that thing hidden. If I don't accidentally delete it. What's up, Red? We have no bots in the house at all. I need to stop drinking water.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another prequel-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back. We're done with the Book of Boba Fett. And now we're back to our normal schedule. Tuesday nights. Talking about Star Wars. Whatever comes up. And today, we are talking about the deleted scenes from The Phantom Menace. Bum, bum, bum. Yep.
We should just add that button so I don't have to say it every time.
Well, I gotta find a soundbite for that.
Well,
and that costs money. So
Andrew, get on it.
But yes, so if you don't know, on Disney Plus, if you go to any of the movies and you click on extras, they have deleted scenes. So I didn't realize this till like a few weeks ago or something, or a month ago or something. And I was like, hey, this is a podcast idea because we need as much Star Wars content as possible to talk about. So here's definitely some fun stuff. So we're going to probably do, I'm not saying we're going to be doing this every week for all 9 movies or 11 movies, but we'll be doing them.
We're definitely going to be filling them in here and there.
We're going to be filling them in here and there. We're like, when we don't have an idea, but let's just do deleted scenes.
Jerica Tano in the chat says, Tuesday night podcast studio series are back.
Yep.
Yeah, we're back.
Yep.
Tuesday nights. It's kind of weird.
It is because this is my first time. Is this my first time running it without doing the Book of Boba Fett, or did I do the Ahsoka one book review?
No.
So this is like I had to like rush home after work and like set up everything.
Maybe you did do the Ahsoka one too. I'm pretty sure Andrew did it.
I don't remember. But
it doesn't matter. But yeah, it was probably a little bit more. It was like in the queue, ready to go. Like at 7, I was like, "Oh shoot, is Jeremiah like on?" No, you just while you're eating.
I was eating dinner, and then I had to set up all my lights and my camera because I had all those taken down because I was filming and shooting pictures for the baking collab that's going to be dropping soon. So
stay tuned for that.
2 weeks from tonight. So today's the 15th. So on the March 1st, week one.
Wow.
Week 1 of the cooking or baking collab with Cinemakeries. And so on Instagram, Sydney. So we got some awesome ideas. I've seen some of her finished products and it's amazing. And I got some pretty amazing stuff too. So watch out on Instagram. And YouTube, so I'll have YouTube videos too of baking and stuff of them. But
no, we cannot send you cookies.
No, but I brought. Oh, I can't do any spoilers. Never mind.
Oh, chill.
I almost spoil some stuff, but
don't want to spoil anything.
But yes,
yeah.
So
and it's also weird, like not doing boba stuff. It's kind of a little bittersweet.
Well, we stopped doing boba and we did Mando stuff. So what's the difference?
Damn, Disney stopped doing it too. Yeah, that's true.
But yes, but we might as well just jump into it. So there's, I believe, 10 deleted scenes for The Phantom Menace, and some of them are interesting. Some of them are very like
short.
It's like, yeah, good thing they cut that out because those stupid. But first one, it's a very short clip. I think it's only 17 seconds or something, and it's
17
called Anakin's Return. And so it's just a scene of him returning in the N1 Starfighter and after he blew up the control ship, droid control ship, and so it's just him returning to like everyone's like, well, we're all coming for it. Who else is who's this coming in? Like, who did this? And then there's this like Anakin jumping out like.
So did you realize that like also once again, you guys, if you're listening, all this is on Disney Plus, so you can go back and watch it yourself. It says go to extras. I know we mentioned it, but I want to make sure everyone is still up. But I don't remember their outfits looking like that. The pilots, it looked like they're wearing like 2 trench coats and one. Like it's, I don't know.
I guess I don't remember.
You see how boofy they are, though? Don't they?
Would you say boofy or
puffy? Boofy?
Boofy. There's a meme right there. Get on it, guys.
Wait, hold up. You don't have Disney Plus? Chat, what are you doing?
Who?
Someone in the chat just said they don't have Disney Plus. Oh, well. Okay, no.
Well, you're missing out because
of a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff that we do on this show. So,
but we love that you're here still. Don't go anywhere.
So Anakin shows up after the fight, and he's like, "Oh, am I in trouble?" Blah blah blah. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you what do you say to this kid? Is like he just like saved the universe, and then
I also love that his hair is like all messed up.
Oh yeah, but yeah, just a quick little scene. Like, it didn't really. It's understandable why they deleted it. But
I also think it's kind of cool though.
Right. But that's all. That was, like I said, that was a little quick one. So the next one is called Anakin's Scuffle with Greedo.
Which this is kind of news for me too.
What?
And I'll explain after we explain the scene.
So it's just a minute-long clip, a little less than a minute. And Anakin is fighting his friend Greedo on the ground and beating him up. And our boy Qui-Gon comes in and intervenes. Mm-hmm. And Anakin is accusing Greedo of cheating. We don't know what it was, what they were playing or whatever.
No, Greedo's accusing Anakin of cheating.
Huh?
Yeah. He said he thinks I was cheating. He said I was cheating.
Oh, sorry.
Come.
Well, but either way,
what were little Annie. That is right. Well,
what were they playing, or what were they doing that was cheating? Like,
they're playing dice.
Possibly. But
they're just sitting on the curb playing dice.
But either way, so Qui-Gon shows up and breaks it up, and it's like, what's going on here? And so Anakin is like, well, I was accused of cheating. Greedo is like, this is what I believe. He's like, Anakin, you know the truth, whether you did it or not, and you can't change Greedo's mind, so you just basically got to live with it and just move on, which is a very nice life lesson that Qui-Gon had with his wisdom. So I don't know. It was just an interesting scene. Like, they could have I would have liked stuff like this to maybe been in there more like words of wisdom.
So the chat's saying that this was after the Padres.
Well, that's hard because how do you know?
Exactly. How do we know this, chat? How do you know?
But the thing is, in the movie, Greedo's cheering and happy that he wins.
No. So this is what I'm saying. This whole time we thought that his little buddy of the same species was Greedo, and it's not.
Greedo. So you're saying there's two?
Correct. Because if you watch it, see the little tiny guy that runs across? That was Anakin's friend. That runs across the screen.
Okay, but Greedo is still there at the Padres cheering him on. He has two friends at the Padres.
He has two of these guys?
He has two friends.
No, he has I think it was a girl.
No, it was a guy. I
I'm gonna
watched
pull
these.
it up right now. I'm gonna pull it up.
It's
right now.
no, because there's the little like humid kid that I'm like, that kind of looked like me when I was a kid. Like, was I in the Phantom Menace and I didn't even realize it? Remember this? They Jedi mind tricked my memory and made me forget.
Because I always thought it was Greedo, but it wasn't. I don't think it is.
Okay, in the canon movie,
Yes, I'm pulling
it's
it up
Greedo.
right now.
It is canonized that
That it is Greedo.
the Rodian that you see in the movie
But
is Greedo.
That's okay. That's what I thought, but maybe because they cut this out, they said that's Greedo. You know what I mean? Because that's a different Rodian that he's beating up. That's what I'm trying to say. Because the one that's cheering him on, I have it pulled up right now, and it's just that little boy and him, and that's it. There's not two of them. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I think they took this out, and then they said, yeah, that's Greedo. But
So you're saying originally his friend was not Greedo,
correct.
and they deleted the scene and then made him Greedo.
And then they just say it's Greedo, yeah. Because the size is different too. That Greedo, in the deleted scene is taller than the little short guy.
I guess that is true.
Right? You see him? Like the one's clearly someone in a costume. The other one is clearly, like
I think it was what our boy.
Yeah, it's like the guy
Warwick.
Warwick Davis.
So I don't know. I just think it was
like I know now it's canonized that guy is Greedo, but in this deleted scene, there's a different Greedo. So
right,
it's kind of crazy.
But this was definitely should have been a red flag for Qui-Gon to like not recruit Anakin because he's on top of Greedo beating the crap out of him.
Beating the crap out of him.
Because like, this guy has some dark side in him.
Someone accusing him of something. And it wasn't like he wasn't like they were tussling. Like he was throwing like
he was on top of him, punching him.
He had him full out, and he was beating him up. Like
he was
UFC
force punching
style.
him, and he didn't even realize it.
For real. It was like full on UFC style.
So
in this next trailer.
So that is a fun clip. I think it would have been cool if they were able to leave that in.
I actually like that one.
So the next one is interesting, but it's also like probably the worst one, most pointless scene that they had. It's called Bail Organa of Alderaan. So in the canon movies, we are not introduced to Bail Organa until episode 2. But they did have Bail Organa in episode 1 for a deleted scene, but it's a different actor, completely different like look to him, and it's just when they
looks like a prince.
He does. It's like it's very like formalized, like obviously because they're in the Senate, like the what do they call it? The big Senate room with all the hover crafts, hover podiums. But
I don't remember.
But anyway, the Senate, and so it's the vote of no confidence for Valorum, and so it's them, and he just stands up and seconds the motion, and so
the guy behind him looks like he's wearing like a Vikings blanket.
But you see that girl though? Hold up. Did you notice what she looks like? Is that supposed to be his wife?
I don't see a girl.
Right, like 8 seconds in.
Oh, the one that looks like Leia?
Yeah. Oh. So I wonder if that's his wife?
Which would be Leia's adopted mother?
Right. Because I can't remember what she looks like in episode 3.
Did they show her in episode 3?
Yeah.
Oh, like for a second, right? When he gives the baby to her?
Yeah. So I wonder if that's the same...
This poor actor. Let's take a moment.
He was in Star Wars and then he's not.
Acknowledge that he was cast as Leia's adopted father.
Yeah. I guess I didn't even think of it that way.
And then the scene gets cut. And then they're like, let's cast Leia's adopted father again and give it to a different actor. Like,
yeah, but
poor guy.
but
And I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't recognize him in anything else. So this
right.
could be the beginning to the end of his career. So
well, his name is Adrian Dunbar. I wonder if he's anything. We Google that, but
the only Dunbar I know is from Dancing with Wolves. It's like the main character's name was Dunbar. You remember that? You ever seen Dancing with Wolves?
yeah, that's not.
That was
That's
the
not
main
his name.
guy's. No, like his name in the show was named Dunbar. John D. Dunbar.
I guess I don't remember his name. I just remember him as Dances with Wolves was his true name.
Yeah. Which, I mean, has nothing to do with Star Wars, but if you haven't seen that movie, it's pretty good.
And he's not in any movies that I really.
What if he was just like an extra that they're like, here, put this on?
That's probably what it was. Yeah, none of these movies do I recognize that he's in. So
Like European films.
I have no idea.
Why is that, Jeremiah? Why does Star Wars cast a lot of European actors? Like no-name European actors.
Because they need the accent. I don't know.
That's
like it's already established. Like there's British accents from the original trilogy, so they need to just go along with that.
They just go with it.
Probably.
But
like even then, like
London.
I think also.
Well, a lot of it's filmed in London too.
Right. Well, that doesn't really matter because
I know, but
like I also think that maybe with like the sequel trilogy at least, and like the like I would say that they wanted fresh faces.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Star Wars is aimed at an American audience. That's like the primary audience, even though it's a global phenomenon. But they want actors and actresses that are not familiar because I feel like it would take away sometimes.
Yeah, like I do always appreciate that. Like Star Wars does cast a lot of actors that we don't know personally, or at least they try to, and then they build these actors up. I just feel bad for some of them because like that's what they're known for. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
Finn will always be Finn in my mind. Anytime I see him in anything else, I'm always Finn. You know, or like, yeah, it's just that's kind of how it is. And like, I mean, Mark Hamill, like he's done the Joker, he's done a lot of stuff, but you know him as Luke, no matter what this boy does. And if you don't know him as Luke,
I think that's why he does like a lot of the voice acting because
it was just it's so hard for him to like when he was younger. It was so hard for him to get more acting roles because he just always was recognized as Luke.
Yeah, like what movies has he been in
as a main character?
As like any character, like even if he was just like a supporting role, like.
I mean,
I can't even think of any movies that he's been in other than Star Wars. So,
or like a character portraying Mark Hamill, like he was in Big Bang Theory.
But he was
as
himself.
Mark Hamill,
right? But like,
or like he was. I think he's been in some like roles where he's like, oh look, it's Mark Hamill. Like it's kind of weird, like him as Mark Hamill as a character in certain stuff too, which is kind of interesting.
Like I'm looking at his filmography and like
it's mostly cartoons, like the Joker.
Well, there's the film stuff. So like I'm just looking at the movies. Like I don't remember any. I don't know any of these.
Was he in like in a horror movie like right after Star Wars or something like that?
I don't know. He has stuff like all like I guess he's been in more movies than I realize. Like,
well, read them out to us.
That's kind of boring, but like, but like in the 2000s, like from 2011 to 2019, he was in like at least like one movie every year.
All right.
And then even in the 90s, almost every year one movie. And then just a few other movies before the 90s.
Like baking.
But I don't know. But yes, so some random guy was cast as Bail Organa.
Like I said.
And he got chopped.
If you think of it in that perspective, it's pretty depressing. But anyways,
like what if like I wonder if like how many people like got cast as something in Star Wars, and then like they're like sorry like I can't like scheduling, and then they didn't get the job. Like I wonder like I don't know this thing. What if someone else got like cast as like Luke Skywalker, and then like said like sorry I can't like.
oh,
But
I mean, there's so many stories like that in, like for instance, Han. He wasn't supposed to be Han.
who was
He
he
was a
supposed to
guy.
be?
He was building the set. Harrison Ford was building the set, and the guy that played Han didn't. He was sick that day, so then Harrison filled in for him and read the role.
Are you sure
And
about that? Because he was
yeah,
already an established actor at that point.
no, he was an upcoming actor. He was trying to be an actor, but he
Like,
was building the set. He didn't, and then he started reading the role, and then they gave him the thing. So like there was someone else already paid for Han, and they put him in, and then he took over, and now he's like the franchise himself. Like, and so,
I do
some of
not ever remember hearing that ever in my life.
oh, I've heard it. It was on other Star Wars podcasts where I heard this story.
And are they a reliable source? They could be
I'm not
some
going to mention the podcast name, but yes,
They
they
could
are.
be random
It's
people
not.
just talking about. They could be like the stupendous wave of podcasts
or
where you just
or like
make stuff up.
a theory thing. No, it's not like Crimson Dawn stuff. No,
But
yes, but yeah,
dang,
there's
Harrison Ford is 79 years old. Holy
that boy
smokes!
is, and he still looks good.
I didn't even
He's
know he
like
was that
Will
old.
Smith.
Holy
That boy's
smokes!
old, and he like survived a plane crash.
He's nothing like Will Smith at
Okay,
all. Will Smith still looks like he did in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
dude.
Harrison Ford looks old.
Speaking of like the most trailers for the Super Bowl this weekend was like the spinoff of the remake of French Prince of Bel Air.
I didn't even see that one.
Oh, it's
I
like
heard it in
it's
the
already
background.
out. The show's already out. It's like 3 episodes deep, but it's called Bel Air, and it's like a dark version of it. Like it's like a drama.
Is it just like a reboot or
It's
is
a
it like
reboot. It's like a new thing, but it's not like a funny comedy, like stage laughter. Like it's like a drama. Like I don't even know how to put it, but it seems like it's gonna be like a very intense show. Like they show like the scene of him like getting into a fight on the basketball court, but it's like real gangsters. Like it wasn't like them spinning him around, you know. Like it was like he literally had to flee because he was like there's a bounty
right?
on his head, like kind of situation. So
All right.
I watched the trailer and I was like, should we watch this, hun? And she's like, no, that's way too intense. Like, but the thing is, it was like co-written by Will Smith, so it's like
Oh,
it's not like a different. It's not like someone else made this show. Like they do that when it's like spin-offs, and then it like doesn't.
yeah.
It's just like they bought the franchise. No, it's like Will Smith helped write this, so it's probably good if he wrote it, But
Right. Who knows? All right. Next
once again, it
scene.
has nothing to do with Star Wars.
Next scene is called Battle on the Boarding Ramp, which was an interesting little thing. So when Maul reveals himself and is briefly dueling with Qui-Gon in the desert, they're fighting, and then we know that Qui-Gon jumps onto the ship ramp.
Mm-hmm.
In this deleted scene, Maul jumps up there also, and then Qui-Gon quickly like kicks him off or whatever. So it was just like whatever, like
Which in that scene, as a kid, I was like, why didn't Maul just jump up like too,
right.
And apparently he did in the deleted scenes. Then they fought a little bit and then kind of shoved him off.
Maybe Maul just skipped leg day too many times and
Maul.
and look he didn't even need his legs anyway, so he just like I don't do leg day, so who cares?
He skipped leg day and he got 4 more to go with it.
Oh,
for a little bit, and then he got.
Well, he had like 6 legs,
or it was like 6, yeah, Spider,
and then back down to
2.
lame. 2 legs.
Come on.
Come on.
I mean,
come on, Maul. What if Maul kept? What happened if Maul kept his spider legs and had 6 legs? Like, what would have changed?
I think it would be really cool, but I also I can feel like it would be very inconvenient to go anywhere. We're like, oh hey Maul, come over to my house. Dude, that guy's butt couldn't fit in the house door. Like, dude, that spider legs, like, I just feel like it'd just be really inconvenient and small quarters, you know.
Possibly.
But for fighting, I feel like it would be kind of broken. If he can like pull a maybe making 2 of those legs arms at a certain point, you know, or like they can.
It would just basically be Grievous then at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that's all it was. Just that little. He jumped up down there, and then Qui-Gon pushed him off, kicked him off, whatever. So it was kind of like unnecessary, but it would have been cool. They could have kept that in. Like, it wouldn't have.
Well,
It was
and
a
like
few seconds long. Like,
when
it's
you
not that big of a
see
deal.
the cut too, when they see the cut, like the part of you see Maul put away his lightsaber, it's like the same cut. They just chopped it, and they're like, oh, that they pretty much. It seemed like they didn't want to CGI him running on there. Because if you also watch the deleted sleeve, it's like a full on CGI like red character running, you know. So it just seemed like they just didn't want to do that.
But, I don't know. They could have kept it. It wouldn't have been a big deal, but it is what it is. But after the next scene that we get,
Next scene is long.
It's actually a long one, which is kind of like it's understandable why they got rid of it because it's 7 minutes, but it's what it is. It's called Complete Padres Grid Sequence, and so before the race, when they are introducing the racers, like we see that in the movie, but this deleted scene introduces every single racer or person in the race, and so it was a longer introduction to every single character and their pod race model and all that stuff. And so it's kind of like, let's just make all these characters, give them a little story.
Well, they even like mention the name of like every model too. It was like way more detailed.
So like they kind of just did it, and then they're like, eventually, then for the movie, they just like picked a couple of them, 3 or 4 of them to actually name in the movie. So
the one that I want to mention is pretty funny to me is like that duck character.
Yeah.
I don't even think his species really exists because I've never seen it before. But they were like talking about him and cheering him on, and freaking Jar Jar didn't see that they're cheering him on.
Oh,
and so he stands in front of the little guy and like waves his hand around like he thought everyone was cheering about him. It was so dumb.
Yeah. But I think one of the characters that they introduced. Now I should know this species because we see them like scattered throughout Star Wars. But it's like the little like it almost look like it's like a little chameleon, like a little like whatever. So like in the episode or in the deleted scene, they introduce his family.
Yeah,
like his wife and kids are like watching off on the side, and like she just had a newborn baby, and like she's like, yeah, she's just out of the hospital, and she's here to watch her husband in the race, blah blah blah. And then,
doesn't he die?
In the movie, he dies. His ship gets blown up. So they're like, okay, we probably shouldn't have this story of this family watching their dad and husband get blown up in a race. Like,
it's like they literally say that like she's holding a baby. They're like, and she just left the hospital. And then like he's a guy in like chat or anyone listening. He's a guy in the pirate race that he goes, and then he like hits the wall and it blows up. Like, so yeah, so they probably were like, yeah, let's cut that out. That's a little too.
It was kind of dark.
It was pretty dark.
It was funny, but it was so funny to think about. Like when I was watching that, I was like, that's kind of probably why they did that. But
yeah, that's probably why they cut down all of it. Like,
right. And what I'm kind of mad, like they didn't. Okay, this is with all the scenes here. So some of the scenes are like extended scenes rather than deleted scenes, and so, I wish they would have cut it so that you
Just the
saw
part.
like the actual what's in the movie, and then marked what was not in the movie,
Oh,
because
like there was a way to say that wasn't in the middle.
right, because like, so the 7-minute complete Padres grid sequence, it's all like before they actually edited it and made it look good. And so it's almost like some of it's like almost previs, where it's not technically previs, but it's like
Yeah,
like the
like some
designs
of
are
their
not complete
or
and
they're fuzzy.
they're fuzzy. I'm like, but like it's literally that same character that they introduced was also introduced in the movie. So like they should have like had the finished product of what they kept, and then you
Like
could
even the
easily
part
see what
where
was added.
like when Greedo like messed with Anakin's ship, or not Greedo,
Sebulba.
Bulba messes with Anakin's ship. Like even when they showing him do that, he's like fuzzy and like
Yeah, it's like
twitchy
literally the
looking.
same exact thing. So it's
But
like I
it's like
wish.
we know that scene. Like it's not a new scene.
So like this scene, and then the next one, which is stuff that happens during the race. Um, I had to go back and actually watch the scenes in the movie to see if I could figure out like what was
Oh yeah.
different.
So what's the next scene?
So
So
the next scene is actually an extended scene, not necessarily a deleted scene, and that's the extended pod race lap of lap 2.
yeah.
And so like
And
it has a little description. So it just says, in the extended version of lap 2 of the pod race, watch salvage droids clean up a pod racer wreck, which we see. Um, Team Toe gets hit in the face with a bug, which I didn't really get, because I felt like I didn't see anything different in the deleted scene and in the movie. Like I didn't understand. I don't know.
for this whole thing,
Huh?
this whole thing, you didn't see any difference, or just that
No, the
part?
bug one.
Oh, the bug part.
I don't remember seeing like someone get hit in the face with a bug. And there's like one like, is that it? And that's in both the movie and in the deleted scene. So like I guess I don't know. Maybe I just couldn't picture it, but whatever.
My other question is like, with episode 1, didn't he add more stuff later?
What?
Didn't
Who's he?
George go back, like when they did like the DVD release of this?
No,
Or
that was A New Hope.
Oh, they just added more. I didn't know if they did that
Because when
too,
you
like
watch A
the
New Hope,
first 3.
there's CGI like creatures and
Well,
stuff.
yeah, I know they redid when they digitally remastered New Hope episode. They did that with New Hope and Empire and all that, but I didn't know if they actually added more stuff to 1, 2, and 3.
No, that's always been the same. I believe. I don't think they've ever added anything in.
So, but then another thing that in this scene that you do see is, so Boba has flamethrowers on the side of his what pod race or pod
His engines.
his engines, and it looks sick. Like it makes that scene more intense, which I kind of do like. Like he literally burns a guy's engine on fire and makes him crash because of he. Like it just shows it makes you hate him more, which like I think is kind of cool. Like this scene, I wish they would have just kept in, because also we always want to know how, like, did they clean up before the next time they got around, and they did. They had this whole way to have these droids drop down and try to pick up all the rubble and then leave, which it almost also made the scene like made the race seem more professional in a sense by having that.
I don't know. I just think that no one cares to see that happen. That's why they got it out. Like they just want to see the race. Like get to the point.
I mean, you're right, but they could have just they didn't come out with the extended version of this movie. That's all. Because like Anakin hits one of them and almost crashes too.
That is true. He destroyed one of the droids. He did crash into it, and it
cuts in half.
But and they kind of look like
Pit
these
droids.
droids, clamp droids. They look like the pit droid head, but like they have like the dangling feet, like the probe droids, the Viper droids, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a
2 in 1.
Yeah, so there's like these little hover ones that hover and just grab this stuff and fly off. But so there's that, and then the third part is we see. So we in the movie we see the Tusken Raiders shooting at the pod racers.
Well, I like this part.
So this one, they're shooting at the pod racers go by, and then they spot Jawas picking up wreckage, and they start shooting at the Jawas.
Which I thought they were gonna kill one. That was
What's here's the thing? They're hitting these pod racers that are going probably hundreds of miles an hour,
and he can't hit a walking.
and they can't hit a walking Jawa.
That is.
That's
fair.
even closer. Like I was like,
that is actually a good point.
it would have been funny if they did like snipe them and it's like headshots on all these Jawas.
Or like they pulled like a because I mean we see that in the Mandalorian. He literally blows them up. Just kind of cool.
It is.
But yeah, so I did like that part, but yeah, it was interesting. But it also made it seem like the Tuskens were shooting them for their parts, like maybe
I don't know,
because they got mad at the Ewoks for grabbing the parts, so it's like
the Jawas
or Jawas, sorry, the Jawas. They should add Ewoks in there for fun. That would be cool. But yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, like you say, it's not really like necessary because that part didn't really add more anything else to the scene much.
Right.
And then yeah, so Boba tries to burn Anakin with his flamethrower on the side of this thing. But
yeah. All right.
It's a fun scene.
Yep. So next scene, it's an extended Padres wager scene. So when Qui-Gon makes the deal to bet on the race with what's his face, what's his name? I can never remember his name. Watto. Mm-hmm. Watto. Yes. So it's an extended of them talking back and forth, and so there's more discussion on the worth of a slave versus two slaves.
Yeah, this is like more detail.
There's more detail about the wager of because obviously Qui-Gon wanted the mother and the son, and it's just them talking about that, and then they decide on just the one, and Qui-Gon says then just the boy, and so it's just a few extra 30 seconds extra probably of just them talking and Watto contemplating things, and so I guess it doesn't. I think like they could have left that one in because like when you go back and watch the actual scene, it's a really quick wager, and it's like it would have been cooler to see a more deliberate, like deep thinking of like what is the worth of a human rather than. But then again, they're slaves, and so maybe he's like it's not hard for him to like measure the worth. He's like, oh, 2 slaves, 1 slave. It's like,
I mean, it's 2 for 1. It makes
right. So, no, they could have left it in. That wouldn't have been a big deal. But
and it seemed like this one was pre-viz. Like it has more of a pre-viz look. Like
yeah, there's some of that was like that. Yeah.
Like even they kept like panning over to Jar Jar, and he's like full orange, like just straight up like an orange blob. But it's fun.
So then that's it for that one. And then after that is
the battle is over.
The battle is over, and so that one it's basically pointless. It's just
this one is pointless. This one they definitely should have cut this one out. This one.
So it's just some Nubian soldier just on the hollow screen type thing saying that the command ship has been destroyed, and then you see
he was like, "Look," and he pushes the droid over.
Pushes a droid over like they're dead, and then it just pans to the Viceroy, and they're like, "Oh crap, we're in trouble," type of thing. So,
but
that's it.
In the original scene, didn't they all just collapse anyways? right?
Well, I can't remember how they communicated to the palace that. I have to go back. I need to be more intentional about watching all the movies at least once every year. Like I haven't watched Phantom Menace in quite a while. So
I'm trying to pull it up here. Yeah, I think. Well, I know that they separate, right? Oh no, they kill all of them. Okay. I'm jumping around. It's kind of hard to find.
I don't know. Well, it doesn't really matter. But
either way, they cut it.
It was a pointless scene, so it just made sense why they got rid of it. But this next one deleted scene, the waterfall.
The one I mentioned in the beginning.
The opening thing. So this is like practically it makes no sense, and so that's why they deleted it. But when Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Jar Jar finished traveling through the planet through the water, and they have come up from the water, they're actually on the edge of a waterfall, and Obi-Wan turns the ship off, and it gets starting to get pulled towards the waterfall, and then like the waterfall is so strong that the boat can't fight it, and it starts going overboard. So so Qui-Gon just shoots like a line.
Yeah, he has like Qui-Gon. A pocket. It's like a pen-sized grappling hook.
Yeah, and he just shoots it to the side wall of the water, and they just start like holding onto the wire and pulling themselves towards the land, to the ledge. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, if this waterfall is pulling this ship so hard that it can't go forward or it gets started or whatever, how are Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan holding on to this line while the water is pulling them too? Like, I don't know.
Oh, they're Jedis.
And then,
well, if anything, this gives us more prominent that Jar Jar is a Sith.
Because he jumped in the water too.
He just jumps out.
And he's able.
And doesn't matter.
And he's able to go through. And then, like, there's also in the water, there's fish just swimming around like normal.
Yeah, like they're not on the edge of a waterfall either. They're just blah, 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 blah.
Whatever. So it is a completely pointless scene, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pointless, but it's fun.
It's
a fun little scene.
Maybe what they could have done to escape the waterfall is, give their ship a little energy boost. You know how you can get a little extra energy,
Drew? Well, I know how I can.
How do you get a little energy if you're about to go over a waterfall? What should you do to swim away? What do you do?
Besides being the Dark Lord of the Sith, like Jar Jar?
Yeah.
Probably drink some Wesley Andrews coffee.
Wesley Andrews coffee will give you the boost you need to escape the pull of a waterfall. So they're our sponsor for today's episode. So let's take a listen from our boys at Wesley Andrews.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yes. So go get some coffee from Wesley Andrews. They're great. I hear. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know. It could be the worst, but I hear that's pretty good.
Nope. Definitely the best. Also, yes, Andrew's cameo still. Andrew's still with us.
Every episode. But so now we're already at the last scene.
Wow. Jeez.
And it's called Trash Talking Droids. And so this is so a stupid scene.
This is another one that we're like,
why did they even write it?
Like, who wasted their time writing this scene and prevising it too?
Yeah. Even like, okay, so Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and C-3po. Right? Was it C-3po? No, not C-3po. It's like whatever the protocol droid was.
Protocol droid.
And so they come on, and then these two droids on, because it's the Trade Federation ship.
It's in the beginning of the whole movie.
Yeah, and so they come by as the three are getting on boarding, and they just say one of those useless protocol gearheads to greet them, and
yeah, pretty much it says this must be important because they sent a.
But like, since when do
droids talk trash?
Like, we know like Chopper and R2-D2 talk trash.
But like, we don't know what they're saying.
But like, a protocol droid is important because like they need to translate. Like, why are they pointless? Like, why are you insulting a protocol droid? Like, they're a very important droid in Star Wars. Like, I could use a protocol droid. Like,
true. I mean, we all could.
So like, it's always the worst when a customer comes in and they don't speak English.
Oh, dude.
And then I have to like try and like figure out what they're saying. And I don't know, it's just the worst. So a protocol droid would be great to translate any language for me.
Dude, it could probably help a lot of issues with communication in general.
Yeah.
In the world. I mean, we got Google Translate now and it's getting better, but like for hundreds of years, like if we just had a protocol droid, probably less world wars. Like it could have helped a lot, probably.
It could probably even save marriages. Miscommunication in marriage, like be like, Drew, this is what Stephanie is actually saying. You shouldn't be fighting.
Knowing Steph, she would be like, I hate you. That is not what I'm actually saying. I'm actually saying what I just said. Like, you'd probably unplug that thing.
Stephanie never ambiguous. No. So yeah.
Also, these two droids don't exist in the Star Wars universe that I know of. Like, they're like made up looking droids.
They kind of look like from like the late 90s. Oh, this is late 90s. This is 99. But like a late 90s like kids like Saturday morning show, like a 3D show, like that was just like some.
It kind of reminds me of like the graphics of like Beast Wars.
I've never watched it, but I know what you're talking about, I think.
Yeah, it's
just but these are just like the previous things. But just think, we talked about earlier how a guy was cast as Leia's adopted father, and then he gets cut. Well, someone spent time making these droids on a computer.
Yeah, this edit probably took forever, especially in the 90s.
And so they're like, yes, I contributed to Star Wars. I made these two droids. I'm in a minute, and then like halfway through production, they're like, sorry.
Well, even one of the droids, like in the end of this conversation, the droid says, "I'm not made to think," and then they just walk away. It's like,
yeah, I'm like, well, you just thought, like, what are you talking about? But yes, so yeah.
Transformers? Question mark? Yes.
So that is all the deleted scenes from the Phantom Menace. So. They're fun. They're fun to watch. Interesting to watch. Go ahead, watch them yourself if you haven't watched them already. But
the deleted scenes for episode 6 or 3, you guys.
There's so many on there.
There's one deleted scene. Wait, is that?
So, yeah, we'll eventually do all the movies as time goes on. But Revenge of the Sith has a ton of deleted scenes.
Dude, one of them's 46 minutes.
No, I think. Are you sure it's not? It just might be a documentary.
Oh, maybe. I was like, what? That's not a scene. That's a movie. Deleted movie clip.
One of the scenes in there is like it's a completely different version of Yoda versus Sidious.
Ooh.
And so I actually saw that
episode on that alone.
So that was a really cool. I've seen that one before. But yeah. So we'll do all the movies eventually. We're gonna try to do other things first, but we'll talk about what we're doing next week in a moment. But unless you have anything else, Drew, we could transition to our favorite part of every episode. Anything else?
Do we want to mention that trailer that we got this week?
Well, sure. So just today, we had a trailer drop for the Old Republic games. Mm-hmm. So another expansion called Legacy of the Sith, and it is. If you haven't ever seen the Star Wars Old Republic official cinematic game trailers, any of them, go watch them. They're like,
yes,
they're amazing. It's just like fan fiction, nonstop action. Like
they're super sick.
Yeah, and so they always get better and better. So the one that they dropped today, I think might have the best lightsaber dueling we've seen in any of these trailers. Like, it's exactly what you want to see in Star Wars. And I want to see a live action fight like these. Like, obviously it'd be all CGI, but because it's so over the top. But so it's Star Wars: The Old Republic Legacy of the Sith official cinematic trailer. Go look it up. It's really amazing. And I've never played any of those Old Republic games, and Drew is only kind of dabbling a little bit. So like,
I dabbled, but like this made me really want to get back into it, and I just don't have enough time to play these MMO games. They take like that dedicate your life to these kind of games, but like the cinematic trailers are amazing for all this, and this one, like, I'm like, do we just switch the entire episode tonight?
Were they're remastering that or making them for regular consoles, or what? One of the games or something? The Old Republic game, the first one or something?
Well, KOTOR. They're literally redoing KOTOR. They're not like digitally remastering. Like they're just redoing the game.
I wish they would just, because these are all PC games. So like,
yeah,
I don't know. I just wish they were on console. Like,
well, KOTOR is gonna be on console.
The original game just put on console, like
console. No, I think no. So they're redoing the whole, like they're digitally, like they're just redesigning the entire game essentially, and that's on console. But KOTOR, the original one, I mean, you can get it on mobile, and you can also get it like it's on the Switch. And Andrew, I'm pretty sure he said he's been playing it like crazy on the Switch. I don't know if it's on PS4.
I don't know. I have to look. I would love to play these games if it was on PlayStation. Like,
but yeah, but the Knights of the Old Republic though, that's not KOTOR. That's like MMO. Like, I don't think you pay monthly anymore, but like you pretty much like do whatever open world, like kind of like WoW kind of thing. Like,
but anyway, as you can tell, we don't know anything about how these games.
I don't know enough about it,
so
and
that's why we're not going to do a trailer breakdown of that cinematic trailer, because we don't know like what any of this means. It's just eye candy. It's really cool. So go check it out. It's really cool. You'll have a lot of fun. It's your wildest dreams for a lightsaber fight come to life. So definitely look at that. But we want to transition.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
It's voicemail time.
All right. So we have 2 voicemails today. First one called Jedi Master which is intense. So I think this is the first time submission from this person. So let's have a listen.
Hey, Empire Radio. Really love the podcast that y'all do. I was just wondering if y'all had ever seen Star Wars Resistance. I just finished the second season, and it was pretty good. I really liked it. Had some really good character development, and I think Dave Filoni wrote it, but it was just some really good Star Wars, and it was really good. So I didn't know if y'all had ever seen it, or what your thoughts were on it. So, yeah. May the Force be with you.
All right. Thank you for the great question. And I have watched Star Wars Resistance.
Yeah, you have. I
and
have not.
Drew, didn't you start watching like the first couple episodes?
Like, the first 2 episodes.
And I know Andrew never watched it, so
I plan to watch it.
Just watch it. Okay, so here's the thing about it.
I'm not against it.
You're against it.
No, I'm not. I just haven't got around to it. I think until May now, I have some different Star Wars content I can watch, and
so here's the thing. So comparatively speaking to all the other animated shows, it's not that great, but it's still enjoyable, and it still has some good storylines and points. So if you don't know, it starts a month before Episode 7, the movie, The Force Awakens, and then I believe it ends like the first. I'm trying to think how it goes, but it then overlaps with.
Doesn't it end before?
It ends
Jedi?
during The Last Jedi.
Oh,
time.
During The Last Jedi. Does it make The Last Jedi better movie?
No. So what it is, it's just a side story that parallels the events of what's going on with the First Order in the galaxy. So like people still don't know who the First Order are. There's a lot of it's still rumors, and so it's just this one location, this cool location, and it's their interaction with the First Order trying to, come in and kind of like take control of the area, but do it more like we're here to protect you type of thing. And so it follows Kaz, who is actually a Republic Navy starfighter who's kind of going undercover by the command of Poe Dameron, who tells them to do this. And so then they're trying to figure out what's going on with the First Order on this place. And it follows all these on this planet. They do these races with starfighters, and it's cool races, and it's just everything that's going on. And then, so the first season's kind of okay, but I think season 2 actually gets pretty good. There's some good stuff, and there's some episodes that are like really, really good. And so,
well, Jericho in the chat said that the end of season 1 got her teared up a bit. So,
yeah, so there is some.
You were saying that season 2, the ending was really, really good.
It was for what it was. It was good. There's season 2. There's some episodes that I thought were really, really good. Like they held their own against some of the best, like stuff. So like, there's that. It doesn't really change or add much to like Star Wars canon. Like it's just a side story. There are familiar faces, like I said. Poe Dameron.
Is it written by Dave?
I don't know if it's fully written by him, but he was head of animation, so was still.
Was he head of animation at that time, though?
I think so.
I thought he recently became the head of animation, like within the last year or 2.
No, he's been appointed that for a while.
Oh, really?
Oh. But it's definitely something.
It's definitely something that I do want to dabble in. The art style is a little for me.
It is.
But
well, it's kind of more like an anime, kind of. Like some animes kind of look like it a little bit. I've heard some people say it's similar to Ruby. Is that true?
I don't. What's Ruby? I don't know what that is.
Isn't Ruby also like a huge anime? I don't know.
Could be. I don't. There's only certain animes I'm into, and I can guarantee it's not one that's named Ruby.
Well, it's like RW something. It's a weird spelling of Ruby.
Oh.
But yeah, it's definitely okay. So like we talk about like the animated shows, we're like, oh, Clone Wars, it's not a kid show. It's intense. It's Rebels, it's not a kid show. Well, this one is actually a kid show.
This is a kid show.
It's very kiddish. It's the most family friendly of all of them, even though there are some intense scenes once in a while. But it's definitely something like if you have little kids at home, little Padawans, you could watch it with
my
someone.
kid is 2. I'm gonna probably have this in the background like all the time, kind of thing.
Probably.
Like I would rather my son watch this than like Blue's Clues or something. Like,
right.
And if you're into Blue's Clues, that's dope. But between this and not Droids, but the Ewok show, I'll probably be on a lot.
Ooh, maybe we should be doing some of those episodes again. Deep dives.
Oh, maybe we should. Now that we don't have someone holding us back, maybe we should dive back into.
Forget Droids. We want Ewoks, but
Ewoks all the way. Chat or anyone that's listening, if you want to let us know if you want more of those Ewok episode breakdowns, we can totally do that. I'm down. They're better than Droids. And Andrew, we know you're listening, so yeah. It's your fault.
No, we should say we should say we should do a breakdown of every single Droids episode, and maybe Andrew will come back.
Ooh, we should.
We just say, hey, we're gonna do the next Droids episode. You want to join us? See what he says.
Once a week.
We're gonna start a whole new Droids podcast. We're gonna a little side like we did Clone Wars Save. We're gonna do Droids Returns. But yes. So, Jedi Master, thank you for the question.
Yes. Also, I didn't really... when you said that, I thought we were going to get, like, a cameo of a Jedi Master. Like, I didn't realize that was their name.
Okay, a Jedi Master can still be a regular guy and watch TV, kid shows.
Sure. I mean, that's fair.
So Jedi Master is an actual Jedi Master in my heart. So.
Oh, well. You heard it here first, Jedi Master. What's his name? Didn't he say his name too?
Can't remember. Sorry,
my bad.
But anyway,
so Jedi Master.
So we got one more from our boy Will I Am.
Will, he was in the chat. I don't see him anymore, but Will, let's get it.
All right, let's hear from him and a friend of Will.
Hey, Empire Radio, Will here. Hope you're having a great day. And first off, somebody wants to say hi. So here it goes. I don't know if you can understand them, but I'll translate. So basically what he says is he loves the podcast. He listens every week. Somehow. And I think he has a question. Hold on. Okay, his question was, what is your favorite anime or TV show? He says his favorite is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh.
But do you have a comment about that, or?
I don't, but that's a good anime. Jujutsu Kaisen is really good. Jeremiah doesn't like animes. Also, Will, thanks for that voicemail, and you didn't tell us your droid's friend's name or anything, so shout out to you, though.
Yep. So, favorite anime / TV show, so, I don't know.
Favorite anime Vision? Star Wars Visions.
Star Wars Visions. I don't know. But show Stranger Things kind of has my spot for my favorite show of all time.
Like over Cobra Kai?
Over Cobra Kai.
Ooh.
But
also,
Cobra Kai is still in my top 5, though. So.
I was going to say, another thing we could talk about here and there, if you guys want to know our opinions on that show. Because Andrew's not here to shut that conversation down either. But, yeah. Favorite TV show? Am I not allowed to pick like The Mandalorian?
You can pick whatever you want. If The Mandalorian is your favorite show of all time,
It's definitely, yeah. I'm gonna say that.
really?
Why not? What else?
I
I
wouldn't.
watched The Mandalorian on replay more than I think almost any show. Now, my favorite like comedy show of all time is probably between The Office and New Girl. I like New Girl a lot, but Stranger Things is like my top 5 favorite show for sure.
I don't even think Mandalorian would be in my top 5.
How dare you? What? Okay, well, that's crazy.
Maybe I don't know. Obviously, so Stranger Things and Cobra Kai are in there.
Yeah,
So that's
3.
2.
You had 3 more spots. You gotta
I
squeeze
got
the Mando in. Come on.
Clone Wars and Rebels.
Okay. All right, you got one
So
more.
now I got one spot left, and it's just like,
Okay.
what show do I leave out? Like,
well, what do you watch the most, like on repeat? Like, what do you go back to all the time?
I don't.
Exactly.
Like, I'll rewatch Star Wars over and over again. So I will watch The Mandalorian more than other shows.
So there you go.
But I haven't watched The Mandalorian
Since season 2, but and season 3 is around the corner. You're probably gonna go back and dabble on episodes. So
right. So I don't know what.
And we just watched half of season 3 already. So
Yep. Yep, that is true. But I could maybe throw Lost in my top 5.
Ooh, Lost was really good.
I was an original Lost fan. I remember seeing the commercials for it before it came out. I'm watching this.
I don't remember seeing the commercials, but I remember when you guys were hyped about this show. And then we started watching it, and it was like, maybe it wasn't right after Survivor, but it was very close to like. I remember when I watched Lost, I would also watch Survivor like around like maybe the next day or something. I don't remember. But
so I think they might have been on the same night, maybe.
Maybe they're Wednesday on the same night.
Because I remember Lost was on Wednesday nights, which was a problem because I went to youth group. On Wednesday nights, so I always had to have my mom. This was before DVRs.
No, this is DVD.
So I had my mom record on VCR every night. Lost, and then I'd watch it on VCR. So recorded. So that's how I was. So then I was able to like actually like go back and like rewatch scenes and stuff. Where like if you just watch it live back then, like you couldn't rewatch it. So like,
no, unless you bought like the VHS or the DVD collection or something.
I do have I have the first 2 seasons on DVD and then the rest on Blu-ray.
I have all of them, but like the last 3 seasons.
And it was on Netflix for a while.
Oh, was?
It was on Netflix.
No, it was because I bought all of the copies of it, and then I was binge watching it, and then it came on Netflix, and I watched the season I didn't have on Netflix, and the show doesn't.
And I remember in college, I walked into my RA's room, and he had Lost paused, and I saw the pause screen, and I recited back to him all the dialogue that happened after that, and he pushed play, and it was word for word everything I just said, and he was amazed that like I had everything.
So Lost.
I was obsessed. No, I haven't watched it since in 12 years because it's 2010 was when.
Yeah, but ended. The thing is, like, Lost is still like, it's to the left of me viewing you. It's like on the shelf right there. I know where it is in your house.
Right.
Like every time I come over to your house, I'm like, oh, there's Lost.
So. Yep. I should rewatch that, but like, I want to like.
Doesn't it get bad?
Huh?
Like, are you one of those people that like love it even to the very end?
So, people didn't like the ending because they didn't understand the ending. If you understand the ending, you'll like it.
Wait, how do you not understand it though?
That's the thing. People didn't understand. And now I can't spoil anything for people who haven't watched it because I can't say much. But people completely misunderstood what happened at the very end, and they hated it. And then when I explained it to people, they're like, "Oh, that makes sense. I'm not as mad anymore." Like,
oh, well, I haven't seen past season 5. I don't think so.
Well, there's only 6 seasons.
Wait, maybe season 4 I haven't seen. Dang, I'm so close. Jeez, I should have finished.
So season 5 is a weird season because I'm not gonna say anything. But
yeah, don't spoil it. But yeah, people
yes.
in the chat saying Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy was, I binged it like recently. Not the whole thing because they're on like season like 35 or something. I don't even know. But like I think it literally just got off air. But when we came home from the hospital and I was on maternity leave or whatever for 6 weeks, I watched it like all night when my kid was like waking up every 3 hours or 2 hours. Like I watched Grey's Anatomy like during season 10 in 6 weeks after my. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen like I think up to season 5 and then I kind of just stopped. But I was watching like crazy during that time, and it kept giving my wife flashbacks of when she had her C-section, so that probably wasn't good. Then like when they messed up, like this one girl comes in one of the episodes and she has like a towel that was stuck. Like she had surgery, and then after surgery, she's like, I still feel pain or like it's getting worse. And they open her back up and there's a towel that they left in there from the last surgery. And so like my wife like watched that and she like just like, oh, my stomach still hurts. I was like, girl, you had surgery like a week ago. Chill out. No one left a towel in there. Like, calm down. But yeah, it was kind of like probably not the best mental state to watch that show. But Grey's Anatomy was pretty good growing up. But besides that, my favorite anime, I'm just going to say this real quick. It has to be Attack on Titan. It's probably Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, and then I would throw Dragon Ball Z in there for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the voicemails we have. So all we have left is our socials. So now, if you've been listening for a while, you know this. But if you're new, it might not be seared in your mind yet. So,
sure. So
we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Discord, and we just need you to follow us. Follow us on Instagram. Because, look, I mentioned earlier this episode that Cinemakery and I were doing a baking collab with Star Wars themes. And so if you want to see these amazing baking artworks and just be inspired to bake, you got to follow us on Instagram. And follow Cinemakery on Instagram because she's amazing over to Sydney. So follow us. So if you want to follow us, go to links.co/Empire Radio, links spelled with 2 I's, and all the links for everything. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can also find a link to leave a voicemail. So if you haven't left a voicemail, keep doing it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just
we need to keep doing our streak. I think we're at 2 years, or not 2 years. 1 year now. I think
we're for sure at 1 year. I think it was like
this week or next week would have been the first time that we got a voicemail from Lucy. So yes. It was around this time. I think it might have been next week would be like the 2 year.
Or the 1 year.
The 1 year. We're doing this for 2 years.
Yes.
But last February is when we got our first one. So we're still on the streak. We haven't missed one yet.
True.
And so we might as well just say this, but next week.
Oh yeah. So if you haven't turned off this episode yet, because sometimes people will hear the ad and just or the voicemail stuff and they'll just leave. Which also, why did you do that? Don't do that. Send us voicemails. Go like our YouTube channel, Jeremiah. We're super hard on our videos, so if you want to watch us live, or if you already listened to it because you like it, the audio version, go to our YouTube and just hit a thumbs up on that live video anyways to show that you support us over there as well. But that being said, next week's episode, I'm super hyped for it.
Yes, so next week we're doing the third High Republic book, The Fallen Star, and we're doing a book review of that, but we're going to have a special guest.
Ooh.
And Drew, who is our special guest next week?
Well, should they just come next week and hear and they'll hear the special guest, or should we spoil it?
Let's spoil it. Let's get people hyped.
I was gonna get people hyped by just.
I think we should spoil it because maybe they give a book review. I don't care about that. Like I read the book, but I don't care about what Empire Radio has to say. But
even if you haven't read the book, you should definitely just come for next week, anyways, and just let us spoil it for you. Like, just let us spoil this.
But yes, our special guest next week is
Andrew.
So he's coming back. His first one back from stepping down from Empire Radio.
But I thought you were going to say from the dead.
Not from the dead. R.I.P. Andrew.
R.I.P. But yeah, so Andrew Martin will be back on next week's episode. So we all know you guys miss him a lot because we miss him a lot. So if we miss him, you most likely miss him. So if you want to listen to Andrew's sweet voice again, tune in for next week. But also send us voicemails. Send Andrew voicemails about like you miss him and you want to hear his voice more. Like just all that fun stuff.
On his last episode that he was with us, he said when he comes back, every time he wants to come back, he wants the streak for voicemails to keep going. So we need him to be back with voicemails to listen to because that's what he wants. So don't disappoint Andrew next week. So send in a voicemail. If you're listening right here, stop what you're doing. Go to links.co/Empire Radio. Click the link. Send in a voicemail. Send a random question, random comment. If you just want to say hi, bye, and that's it, that counts. We just need a voicemail. So do that.
And like I said, it doesn't even have to be about the book. But if you have comments about the book too, we would love those voicemails as well. Also, if you're just listening to this on Spotify or iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts, if you're listening to this, just slide your thing upwards and bam, there's that link right there. So send us a voicemail. And especially we're kind of shouting this out to you this week because we want you to send Andrew voicemails because he would love it. So go send him voicemails. Send us voicemails. It's going to be a fun episode next week. I'm super pumped for this. I've been counting down the days, and I haven't started the book yet, so I'm going to grind this week a lot. So
I'm almost done. I think I got like 100 pages left, and so
I'm going to start tomorrow. Or I started today, but I'm going to grind tomorrow.
So. And then finally, the last thing that you'll see on the links.co/Empire Radio is a link to the needlesslynerdy.com website. So
go check that out.
Go check that out too. They're great. We're great because we're part of it. So just needlesslynerdy.com. Check it out. Anything else, Drew?
Nope. That's all I have for this week.
All right. Well, you have been listening to another prequel-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.